Hello there and welcome back to another video. So this is one of the most important things you will learn in React.js, that is hooks. So why is hooks important and what are hooks? So basically hooks are used for state management. Till now we haven't talked about state management or JavaScript. Now we will. So far to my knowledge there are three main important types of hooks. One is useState, useEffect and custom hooks. So useState and useEffect are provided by React.js developers. They are the founders of React, and we have custom hooks. That means we can create our own hooks. So hooks are basically a new extension to React.js in the latest version of React.js. So these are very new, and at present everybody are using hooks. So what are hooks? Hooks are a piece of logic. So that piece of logic can be reused over and over again. So let me show you in action. So first let us go to app. Let's go to a component, home, and inside of home let's start using a hook. Let's start off with useState, shall we? So useState, you should import useState like that and then save it. And to use useState, what you need to do is first constant. I'm assuming that you know some JS. You must have known what is a constant, and you should name this state. I will name it test. And for every state variable there is a set state or set test. So if you keep it as state, then set state. If you keep it as test, set test. If you keep it as beast, set beast, like that. So is equal to useState. So this is the syntax for a state variable. So what does it do? You don't know that, right? So set test will follow the syntax, and let's say hi. So set test is a type of a function or a hook. So it is a hook, and if we provide this hi, this test variable over here, it will contain that value. So this is used for state management. So at present this test variable will contain the string hi, and you can print it over here, test. And let me say home. So if I save this now and go to home, reload it, we have an error. Too many re-renders. React limits the number of renders to prevent an infinite loop. So this error is because of one thing. It is because if you write anything in the middle like this, that too if you are using set state, it does not work. So what should you do? You should use another hook known as useEffect. So useEffect and useState are completely different. useEffect is also an important hook. So what will useEffect do? useEffect will only rerun the code. That is the main function of useEffect, and that's probably pretty much I can tell you. So this is the syntax of useEffect, and this brackets over here is quite important. So this brackets includes parameters. So inside this we can add variables like test. It says that whenever the value inside the test changes, re-render this code. So we are not using any parameters, and if there are no parameters, it means that we are running this code only once. So let's set test over here. So this makes sure that this code set test only renders once, only executes once. Now if we save it and reload, we can see home. That is fantabulous. So we are using two hooks. useState, which manages the state. So over here the test is known as the state variable, and this useEffect is used to run the code once or based on the variable changes. So let me show you an example. If you keep test over here, it means that whenever test changes, it should run this code which is set test. But over here you should not keep it like that. Do you know why? Because over here I am calling set test, which means it is changing the value of the test variable. And what does it mean when we change the test variable? Over here we kept a parameter, which means rerun this code whenever the test variable changes. So that is the basic meaning of that test variable over there, right? So, and over here what does this mean? It means that change the state variable test to home. So this will change the value, which will change the state variable test value to home. So it is changing the state variable over here, and this means that whenever the state variable test changes, rerun this code. So this will run infinitely, because once the state changes, it will run again. Once it runs again, it will change. It will run in an infinite loop, and it causes the same error, but it will not show an error. It will just slow down your system, and it will just slow down your computer, and it may eventually crash as well. So we should not use parameters like these. So I think you got the basic intuition. So these are two important hooks, useState and useEffect. These are very, very important hooks, and we can use them for wider case problems. So let me just show you another thing. Over here, inside of useState, there are brackets, and inside the brackets you can keep anything you want. Hi. And what does that mean? It means that the initial value of the test variable over here should be high. So let me just comment this useEffect and run it. Now as you can see, there is high. Where did we keep it? We kept it over here. It is saying React that keep the test variable's initial value as high. And if we decomment this, and it's saying home. Do you know why? Because the initial value is high, and when the useEffect is run, it is changing the state variable from from high to home. So now let us create a program which is button, and this will say increase counter, and this will say number, and let's keep it 0 over here, and let's remove this useEffect because we'll not need that. And let's create a function const and increment. That is the function name which increases the counter, and it will set test plus 1. So what this will do is, every time this function renders, it will change the test variable's value by 1. And when we click on the button, what should we do? You should run the increment function. So this is how you type it. So when you do on click, you should just write in a function like this, and it points to another function which is increment. Now when you save this, go over here. Now click on the button 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Whenever you click this, it will just increment. This is just very, very simple program we can do. And for you, as a bonus, what I'm going to do is I'm going to style this page. It's going to look very, very pretty. So let's go to home.css, and let's take home. I'll just style this out pretty quickly. Home min height, which is the minimum height. I explained this earlier. 100 VH, and width is 100%. So let's keep the background color as black, and let's say home h1. Font size is 200 pixels. Text align center. This will align the text in the center. Let's see how does it look. I should change the color white, and let's change it to 500 pixels. Yeah, that looks pretty much good. And let's style the button now. Background color of the button should be white. Okay, there should be no border. There should be no outline. This removes the boldness of the button. And let's keep height as 50 pixels. And let's add border radius of 10 pixels. This will make it more good. And let's add something which is a division around it. So what will this do? Button container. Let's name this button container and keep this inside of here. And button container will have display flex. And what flexbox does is it usually arranges like in a box. If you keep something in a box, it is usually arranged. It will make sure that something arranges. And you can keep justify content center and align item center. What this will do is it will bring it to the center. And this does not work anymore because in between home and button there is a div again. So this works now. So that is pretty much good. And let's make the cursor to the pointer. And good. And font size, let's make it 20 pixels. And font family Arial. Yeah, that's good. And font weight 500, 600. Yeah, that's good. Let's leave it there and let's check it out. It's pretty much good. This is a counter application. So in the next video, I will build a mini project which includes all the things we have learned so far. It also includes components, states, React navigation and much more. We are going to style it very much better than this one over here. So that's it for this video and I'll meet you in the next one. For now, peace.